couldn't help but notice his friend's slim, almost elegant wristband. There was a tiny screen on it, but it wasn't displaying the time. Alex had seen enough smartwatches to know that. This seemed different. His curiosity grew during the walk. Asked where he could buy such a thing. Friend smiled, tapping the band lightly. "It's just a fitness tracker," she said, her voice echoing in the otherwise silent park. "I use it every day." She showed him what was on the screen. The conversation stayed with Alex, not in an all-consuming way, but as a persistent flicker in the corner of the mind. That little device on the friend's wrist had made movement into something they looked forward to, instead of something they avoided. Later that evening, Alex sat on the couch, laptop open, curiosity winning out over skepticism. The search term was simple: Best Fitness Tracker 2025. The rabbit hole, the results were overwhelming. Slim bands in bright colors, sleek watches that looked more like jewelry than gadgets. Even rings claiming to track sleep cycles and body temperature. Prices ranged from the cost of a nice dinner to the kind of investment that required serious justification. Each product page promised the same things: more awareness, better habits, healthier living. The reviews were a mixed bag. Some users swore the devices had changed their lives. Others admitted they ended up in a drawer after 2 weeks. Alex felt a familiar frustration, a feeling he'd known well in the past when he'd tried and failed to build a workout habit. This too could end up in a drawer. The thought made him push back from the couch and pace. The room was quiet except for the hum of the laptop. Then he saw it, a headline that stopped him in his tracks. "Fitness trackers don't work." Alex clicked, intrigued. Was this going to tell him what he wanted to hear? He hoped so. But as he read the article, he realized it was going to be another letdown. It talked about how these devices were unmagic wands, and if you did unhave the motivation to exercise, no gadget would help. So back to square one. Maybe it was just about finding the motivation. And what did motivation look like? Goal, something to aim for? That's what trainers always talked about. Setting goals. Alex went back to the couch and typed on the keyboard. This time the search was different. Best way to lose weight without dieting? The next few hours were a blur. Alex moved between research articles, success stories, and expert advice. Information was everywhere. Could leave now, he thought, feeling like he'd learned a lot. But there was a problem. No plan had clicked. Nothing felt right. He needed to do something, anything, to break the cycle of inaction. He just didn't know what. Then he remembered the fitness tracker, the device that his friend wore so casually. Could that be the answer? What if he could somehow find a way to use it effectively? The idea was small, almost insignificant, but it gave him a direction. He could try. He could order one and see what happened. It was a low-stakes experiment, a tiny step. Alex felt a sense of control, a feeling he hadn't experienced in a long time when it came to his health. Instead of obsessing over the perfect plan, he was focusing on a single, well, maybe not perfect, but definitely actionable step. The knowledge that something was on its way, something tangible, gave him a strange sense of calm. He closed his laptop and leaned back. There was nothing left to do now but wait. But wait, he had an event in 3 days, a family gathering. It was the perfect opportunity to test the device, to see if it could motivate him to be active. But how would he do it without seeming like he was carrying a briefcase on his wrist? The question led to a new search: Best Fitness Trackers for under $50. The results were different this time. Fewer flashy designs, more practical suggestions. Alex found himself immersed in the details, comparing features, reading reviews, checking return policies. For the first time in a long time, he felt a sense of excitement mixed with a healthy dose of skepticism. This time it was different, he told himself, smiling. 3 days later, the package arrived. Alex was surprised by its size. That's it, he thought, holding the small box in his hands. Inside was the tracker and a charging cable. Instructions were simple. Alex followed them, wondering if the device would live up to its promise. Once it was charged, the next step was to download the app. As he scrolled through the options, he noticed something called Move More Mondays. It was a weekly challenge designed to encourage people to walk more. The idea was simple. Every Monday, the app assigns you a goal number of steps to reach by the end of the day. The catch: you have to walk within a 6-hour window. It sounded manageable, and it was only for a week. Alex decided to take the plunge. Over the next few minutes, he entered his personal information and set up the challenge. The app was visually appealing, and the interface was easy to navigate. He could track his steps, heart rate, and even listen to guided meditations. There was also a social aspect to it. You could connect with friends and see their progress. All of this was standard, he thought, but it was the visual representation of data that truly held his attention. The morning of the challenge arrived. Alex was both excited and nervous. This was the first time in a long time that he was holding himself accountable for his activity levels. He put on his walking shoes and stepped out into the sunshine. With each step, the tracker vibrated gently, letting him know he was on the right track. It was a small, almost insignificant detail, but it made a difference, kept him engaged and motivated. As the day wore on, Alex walked through parks, down streets, and up hills. The app tracked his route, and the tracker on his wrist vibrated with each step. He was halfway through his goal and feeling good. Suddenly his phone buzzed. It was a notification from the app. "You've reached 5,000 steps, it read. "Give yourself a pat on the back." Alex smiled. He wasn't sure if the app was congratulating him or if he was congratulating himself. Either way, it felt good. In the end, Alex didn't quite reach his goal. He stopped at 9,500 steps. But it didn't matter. He had taken the first step. Literally, he had walked and enjoyed it. The app vibrated again, this time with a reminder to keep moving. "Every step counts," it said. And for the first time in a long time, Alex believed it. The following Monday, Alex woke up feeling different. He was still nervous, but there was something else, a sense of accomplishment that pushed away his anxiety. He had done it before. He knew the drill. Today was different. Today he was ready, or at least he hoped he was. He put on his walking shoes and stepped out into the sunshine. The tracker vibrated on his wrist, guiding him, motivating him. This time it was easier. He walked further, faster, longer. By the end of the day, he had reached his goal, and then some. Looking back, Alex realized it wasn't just about the steps, or the heart rate, or even the weight loss. It was about the journey. It was about finding a way to move more, to be more aware of his body, and to take control of his health. The fitness tracker had been a catalyst, a small nudge that had helped him take the first step. The rest, as they say, was up to him.